As we continue our focus on Hydra here at the MCUExchange, we thought it time to take a look at the various agents of the clandestine society who have rocked the MCU through their villainy. No other entity in the MCU, save S.H.I.E.L.D., has had the kind of universe-shaping role that Hydra has played. Here is our list of the top 10 Hydra agents of the MCU. Starting off our list at number 10 is Baron von Strucker. Strucker was the great inventor of the 21st century for Hydra, excelling with technology created using the staff of the Asgardian Loki. At his facility in Sokovia, he managed to create two powered people, the Maximoff twins, who were meant to be Hydra's next generation of soldiers. His work, however, was cut short when the Avengers invaded his Sokovian compound. He was arrested by Captain America and soon met an ironic demise when Ultron, another creation of that scepter, put him to a grisly end. For a moment, it looked like his work would live on via his son Werner, but that apple fell quite a distance from the tree. Sometimes S.H.I.E.L.D. can overthink an opponent and miss the forest for the trees. The number 9 on our list, John Garrett, is the perfect example. He operated under S.H.I.E.L.D.'s nose as a double agent called the Clairvoyant. For months before S.H.I.E.L.D. considered the possibility of a mole, they scoured the world for psychics, not realizing the problem was internal. Garrett was the big bad of Season 1 and made incredible strides with Project Centipede, transforming his own body into a living weapon. Ultimately, Coulson killed him before he could wreak too much havoc with his newfound power.
I'll be
At number 8 is Brock Rumlow, also known as Crossbones. During the events of Captain America: Winter Soldier, Hydra had the leader of S.H.I.E.L.D.'s strike team on their payroll. While Rumlow was always heavy-handed in his work, it wasn't until he assaulted Cap in an elevator that we really knew he was suspect. Though his destructive tear in Lagos was apart from Hydra, it was still one last way for him to torture the Avengers, even in death. Up next at number 7 is Gideon Malik. Few agents of Hydra sacrificed so much for the sake of the organization. Malik was always a wealthy and powerful man, even serving on the World Security Council as long ago as the Chitauri invasion of New York City. Deep down, however, he was always most deeply connected with the dream of bringing Hive to Earth. This pursuit led to him offering his own brother as tribute to the monster and later losing his daughter to the vengeance of that same brother, whose conscience remained with the same creature. After proving nearly impossible to defeat, it was ultimately the inhuman Quake under the control of Hive who finished his long career of service to Hydra's cause. Few minds involved in Hydra have been as brilliant as Arnim Zola, number 6 on our list. Not only was he a worthy co-worker of the Red Skull, but he also managed to help Hydra from within S.H.I.E.L.D. for decades. Even as death came, he managed to continue to be useful, putting his consciousness into a giant computer. He is responsible for the groundwork necessary for creating the algorithms needed for Project Insight. Many forget that Zola also appeared at the tag of Season 1 of Agent Carter, where he began his plan to destroy S.H.I.E.L.D. from within, and his plan of creating what would be Hydra's greatest assassin, the Winter Soldier. While the Red Skull was surely the pinnacle of Hydra's influence in the world, the organization has roots long before the days of World War II. For centuries, an ancient version of Hydra worked to bring to Earth a creature of immense power known as Hive, who takes our number 5 spot. His immense power was the MacGuffin they thought would bring true order to the planet. After so many failed attempts, Hive finally came to Earth via the work of Gideon Malik and Grant Ward. Ultimately, it took a nuclear bomb to take out the near-immortal, who had a surprisingly touching moment with Lincoln before being obliterated in space. The greatest villain in the history of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was also one of its first heroes. Taking the number 4 spot is none other than Grant Ward. While viewers erroneously thought Grant Ward was on the side of S.H.I.E.L.D. for most of the first season of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., he was working for Hydra alongside the Clairvoyant. His betrayal helped Hydra kill Agent Hand and created a constant thorn in the side of S.H.I.E.L.D. Ward also helped resurrect Hydra after the fall of Strucker and eventually brought Hive to Earth, hosting the beast in his own body. Grant Ward truly is one of the greatest villains to ever exist in the MCU. At number 3 on our list is one of the greatest successes of Hydra as an organization, Alexander Pierce. Under his leadership, Project Insight almost came to completion, which would have allowed Hydra to kill all of their enemies, or even those who might become enemies, in one downpour of bullets. Ultimately, his years of plotting came to naught when Black Widow, Captain America, and longtime friend Nick Fury stopped him at the last possible moment.
Yeah, Hydra.
Taking the number 2 spot is the Fist of Hydra, Bucky Barnes, aka the Winter Soldier. After his seeming death in Europe during the capture of Arnim Zola, Barnes was grabbed by Hydra and turned into a human killing machine. He would go into storage for long periods, frozen in time, only to be revived and given a new mission. His work includes the assassination of world leaders, the killing of the Starks, and even a run-in which scarred Black Widow.
Bye-bye bikinis.
Yeah, I bet you look terrible in them now.
Though he has been reclaimed by the good guy, Bucky's scrambled brain continues to be a liability. So into a frozen state he currently sits, waiting until the day he can be free of the nightmares Hydra did to and through him. And finally, at number 1, we have the Red Skull. While Hydra flourished in recent times, to this day, their greatest success was that of the revered Johann Schmidt. Besides being a brilliant tactician and weapons designer, he also had the wisdom to mix the superstitions of ancient lore with cutting-edge science to track down the Tesseract. His weaponry would surely have helped Hydra to victory alongside the Nazis back in World War II, had Captain America not shown up and thwarted his plans. In the end, Red Skull was engulfed into a portal opened by the Tesseract and disappeared into a vastness of the cosmos, never to be seen again. Many fans are still pulling for him to reappear from some wormhole of time and space to bring his own brand of maniacal evil to the present day of the MCU. While Hydra sits defunct now, surely it will only be a matter of time until 2 more heads rise to replace the fallen leadership of the organization. When they do, they will join the pantheon of great Hydra villains. And that's our list of the 10 characters that made Hydra into the fearsome organization it is. For all of your Marvel Cinematic Universe news, features, and videos, stay tuned to MCUExchange.com and make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the like button for our videos.